Welcome to the Suplah. We have fun and games. We
We
have
like all the cheese and things because we have elbows.
hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to another edition of the Suplah. I am Andy Kwan, and with me, not as always, but he's here now. Keelan Boulderson.
Good evening.
Hello, Keelan. How are you?
Hello, Andrew. I'm fine. I'm a bit lazy because I'm not back at uni yet, but I'm good playing horsey games.
What kind of horsey games are you playing?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, very good, very
I
good.
like to lasso women and tie them up on my horse
What kind of
and then throw them down gorges and go ha 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 ha. I'm evil.
Is this like Western Grand Theft Auto?
Yes. The only trouble is, if you're used to Grand Theft Auto, you have to ride a fucking horse. And the map's about the same size or even bigger, so it's just like glub 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 glub. Fuck this.
Yeah, that does sound a bit crap.
So,
I've been tempted to buy it, but apparently it's just boring. It's just like riding a horse
well,
and riding a
I
horse.
said it was boring to start with. It's like a slow burn with the story, so eventually you start to get to know everyone, and it makes a bit more sense. But it's one of those things you've got to like give it a whole weekend where you just do nothing else and you just decide I'm a cowboy today, then it'll all make sense.
Interesting. Well, we do have a chat, so if you're listening to our live stream here on YouTube, you can chat to us. We have many people in our chat. We have Jason, aka Wolfie. He says, yo. Stussy,
Yo, bro.
Stussy says, how's it going? Very well. We have Starbarn saying, you fuckers went live without me. I'm sorry. My bad, Sam.
You can always join in if you want.
Yeah, you are more than welcome to join. We'll be here for the next hour. The fuck is this? We thought you were working today, so we
Look,
were like,
we are original Suplers. We can decide to just start.
the thing is, we thought that Sam was working, so we were like, should we just do it now? Sorry, Sam. He's on the bus home. Call from the bus. Call from the bus. Call from the bus. Call
Make
from
everyone
the bus.
else think you're a really weird person.
No, just pretend like you're on the phone. Like no one knows. It's 2019. We also have Voidstorm. What's good, you hooligans? Well, I'm not a hooligan, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I prefer ruffian, but thank you.
Sam in the chat says I'm on data, you pleb. Well, why are you listening to a video then, you big
Well,
jaggery?
get more data.
Yeah,
Get
buy
an
more
add-on.
data. Did you know we get that Supla money now? No, we don't. So
Do we get any super money now?
I don't know, Keelan.
Let's check the AdSense.
Let's not do that because I'm gonna cry.
3 pence. Split 3 ways because Liam quit.
Oh yeah, shit, he quit. No,
Oh no,
free
we forgot
PPU.
Brendan. Brendan joins in.
That was potentially quite bad. So anyway, we are live right now. So if you want to chat with us, you can go to our chat on our YouTube. We have posted a link twice because that's what I do. Just in case you missed it the first time. And yeah, so Keelan Boulderman, as they call you, Boulderson, Boulderton, Schmolder man.
I just have a name. You can just call me Keelan if you
Keenan
want.
Boulderland.
It's perfectly fine.
Bouldertan. You're not doing the show again now because you're going to be annoyed with me. I have to address something on the the decade show.
Right.
I feel like I kept taking the piss. So I want to publicly say I'd like to apologise to absolutely nobody.
To be fair, I didn't really notice any exceptional piss taking, so
Okay. Have you also learnt that the 4 horsewomen?
yes, I did have a brain fart. That did eventually come back to me, but obviously there were 4 horsewomen, and my mind got stuck on the previous one.
There was something else.
Yeah, it was those four chodes that came up from NXT and were like, we're the greatest women's wrestlers ever, and then they all fell out like bitches, and that doesn't exist anymore. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
There's so much wrong with that sentence, but we have to move on because Keelan Boulderman, I have very, very sad news.
Really?
Yes.
Oh shit! What's happening?
So, Rocky Johnson, the father of somebody who you may know of, Dwayne Johnson, otherwise known as The Rock.
And that other guy that almost tried to get in the business in the early 2000s who looks exactly like The Rock and is the brother of The Rock, half-brother of The Rock, who had about one match. Let's not forget about that guy.
Yes, that person also.
Barry Rock.
Whatever his name was. Pebble. Rocky Johnson has sadly passed away, age 75. Those of you who didn't know, Rocky Johnson with Tony Atlas, yes, the guy that was on Abraham Washington. Yeah, I can hear you from this room. The tag team actually became the first WWE tag team champions who were African American, and that is a very big deal. So I don't know what else to say besides from rest in peace, and our condolences go to the Johnson family. At this very,
My
very
memories of Rocky Johnson were basically, I believe it was one, I don't know what event it was, but it was when The Rock was just breaking out and he kind of came to his aid in some kind of IC title match or something.
I believe it was in 96?
Potentially? I think it was just before The Rock. It was either just before The Rock joined the nation or just after he left, when he was still trying to be face. But then they quickly dropped all that shit and he became the great one that we all know and love.
So did Rocky Johnson train The Rock, Keelan?
I'm not 100% sure that he even did. I'm pretty sure The Rock got trained in one of the early developmentals. I want to say Memphis with Dr. Tom Pritchard or something. He got very hands-on training, but it wasn't anything like the kind of training they get today. But he was apparently a natural, and there you go. But I'm not sure that his dad even trained him, to be honest.
Well, Jason, okay, Woofy in the chat says USWA was the developmental.
Yeah, that would be the one.
So yeah, it's very, very sad news. The weird thing is, like, people are like tweeting at The Rock going, "I'm sorry, why don't you say something?" It's like, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Like,
yeah. I just nicked that. Why?
First off, The Rock knows that his own dad's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, he was probably one of the first to know. Secondly, he hasn't made a statement on Twitter yet, so everyone tagging him is just a little bit weird. Like, you get some of the tags that are just like, "Oh, my condolences," whatever. Fair enough. Especially the wrestlers that are in the business doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get weird fans doing it too, and it's almost like they're just seeking out retweets or something, or some kind of acknowledgement from The Rock. Like, his dad just died. Quit the social media, like, circle jerking. This is not the time to do that.
Yeah, leave him alone. For God's sake, his dad's just died. I mean, it just leave him alone. It's just inappropriate. Like, stop. Like, nobody comes to you when, I don't know, you fucking like a relative dies and goes, "Why have you said anything yet?" Like, leave me alone. What are you doing?
And I saw one tweet from my guilty pleasure, Meat, aka Dr. Sean Stasiak, who's desperately trying to clasp any last energy he's got in the wrestling business. He's always tweeting at AEW and people like, "I've got one more run, guys, let's do it." And he made this tweet where he's like, "Oh, Rocky Johnson was always an inspiration to me," tagged in The Rock. It's like, why are you so desperate for fame to try and tag The Rock and get some kind of traction off of that? It's just, I find it a bit gross, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just like really, super insensitive and like this is why people don't like you. Like this is the reason. This is like the reason why people don't really like the reason why Vince didn't like him was because he blabbed about the WrestleMania 17 match with like Vince and Shane, because apparently in that match at some point the WCW wrestlers were gonna interfere.
Well, they were shown in a skybox.
Yeah, and that was
above the arena, and they I think, did he get in the way or say something when he shouldn't have done?
He blabbed on the radio saying that they were going to interfere or appear in the match. So Vince was like, "Ha, screw you! You're staying in a skybox."
Well, he got fired the first time because he was secretly recording people trying to make some kind of weird backstage documentary. And think about it, this is around the time when Wrestling with Shadows and Beyond the Mat were filmed, and that didn't quite put WWE in the best light. And here's this chode thinking he's going to release another documentary without any kind of legal papers being signed or anything. And I think that's the first time he went to WCW. So when he came back, all he did really was get the piss taken out of him. Like, his gimmick was that he was botching moves and stuff. And like, they just basically ran him into the ground. He wasn't a terrible wrestler, but yeah, he's just on Twitter recently. He's just being really like desperate, just tweeting at all and anyone to do with wrestling, and he's always on about saying how he wants to have a comeback and stuff. And it's like, well, all right, go on the indies, have a few matches, prove that you can still do it. There's plenty of older wrestlers that have done that recently. Yeah. Like, who's that guy? One of the
narrowing it down, Keelan.
The Canadian people, Pierre.
PCO.
Yeah, that guy. People like that, they've made a name for themselves again. So it's possible. Stop talking about it. Just go and do it.
Yeah, like the problem I have is it's just like, just leave Dwayne alone. Just leave him the hell alone. Because when he wants to talk about it, he'll talk about it. But if he doesn't ever want to talk about it, then fine. Just leave him alone.
Like, my guess is, as soon as he got the news, he turned his social media off. He's just with his family, and he'll release a statement in a couple weeks, couple days.
Yeah, just leave him alone. So, on behalf of the Suplah, we wish the Johnson family all the best, and our condolences go out to the family at this very, very tragic time in their lives. It's hard to move on, but unfortunately, that's the job. That's what we have to do, and I'm not good at segues. So we'll move on to something a bit happier. AEW. So they've actually been renewed by TNT through to 2023, and they will be picking up the AEW Dark show for television this year. On this morning's Wrestling Observer Radio, Things Are Happening, Dave Meltzer discussed that there's some financial aspects of the deal, and that the news of a second show has been picked up by Warner Media. So according to Meltzer, the new deal, which is worth $175 million over 4 years, means that AEW is guaranteed or getting guaranteed money for the year, and this is a big increase as to what they've been getting out of their previous deal with Warner Media, to the point where it actually will make them profitable. Woo!
Is it guaranteed that it will be AEW Dark that gets that extra hour?
Well, I will continue, because I read here that it in fact will be, but I don't know, because Dave gets stuff wrong recently.
I mean, I'd be perfectly happy if that was the case, because it's already an established show on the YouTubes. I mean, it's a little bit weird to call it AEW Dark, because the whole idea was that they're dark matches that aren't on TV. But I'd rather that than a brand new show, because if you look back through history, whenever those second shows and those second hours get added, that's normally when these companies start to kind of falter and go downhill. You saw that with the extra hour of Nitro and then Thunder getting added, it all gets a bit diluted. I would hate that. I would hate for that to be the case. But if it's just supplanting AEW Dark onto the TV, then that's not really anything extra for us to get like watered down with. So
yeah. Here we go. The actual report noted that the second AEW series, which Turner president Kevin Riley confirmed yesterday, would be AEW Dark, and it is intended to be a strong number 2 show and not a B show. Discussing potential days, Dave Meltzer noted that Sunday and Monday are out of the question because AEW won't go up against the NFL. Obviously, Wednesday already has AEW, and Saturday would have them going up against UFC, and would sometimes conflict with their own pay-per-views. So Tuesday and Thursday are also busy for TNT during the NBA season. So
what does that leave?
Yeah, I don't. My process of elimination, that would be Friday.
I could see a Friday night show for the people that don't go out and get shit faced.
So he's saying that the president of Turner actually says that the new show would be weekly, but not 52 weeks of the year, and it would air on TNT. The other thing that we probably should note is that the previous deal with Turner had no guaranteed money for AEW, but gave them a split of the ad revenue, and that he paid $28 million a year in production costs. They will no longer have their production costs paid, which means essentially an increase of $19 million a year. But they're still getting the ad revenue split, which will factor into another hour.
So they pay their own shit now, but they're getting guaranteed money to be on the air.
Yeah.
So it still works out better.
Yeah. So it's still a cracking deal regardless.
I mean, I'm a bit shocked that this all happened so quickly. I would have thought they'd have maybe waited a year or more just to see whether the ratings start to decline or anything. I know things have been consistently good so far. More or less, they've beaten NXT. At least the ratings themselves haven't been like drastically up or down. But it does seem like a little bit of an odd time for this deal to come through. I wonder what was happening behind the scenes in the decision-making process.
Well, let's look at the chat. So Stussy wonders if Warner Media will put the Dynamite episodes and pay-per-views on HBO Max. I have no idea what that means, because we come from the land of crumpets, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Is HBO somehow affiliated with Warner Media?
I do believe so, yes. But I don't know what
I could see how that might work. But there's so many ways you can watch this stuff. Like, if you want to watch it, you can watch it.
What? So what else is there? Sam being mature says strong number 2 and put like a laughing emoji because he's a twat, and he said that he had one of those earlier. So did I. What's your point? How long? Oh, he actually asks a legitimate question. Thank you. He says, how long will it take for AEW to become on the same level of its prestige as its contemporaries?
I don't know, like 10 years probably.
Probably, yeah. Stussy actually says that HBO Max will be Warner Media's new streaming service launching in May.
Oh, that's... I mean, they've got Fight TV, but that would obviously make a pretty good partnership.
Yeah. I think if they may not need to... they could just put Dark on that service. In theory.
I mean, there's so many potential outlets. Like this, as long as the momentum keeps going, everyone is going to see this one way or another.
The thing is, there's a question that I have, and we live in the land of, sadly, depending on your opinion, this was going to be a Brexit joke, I don't want to even make it. We live in the land of crumpets, tea, the Queen being annoyed at Meghan Markle, and
Big Ben needing to bong.
Yeah, needing to bong Boris Johnson and stuff. how is this? I mean, the question I have is, how is this going to affect the UK? Because obviously here in the UK, the only way you can watch the only two ways you could, three ways you can watch a show is either A, you wink wink watch it legally.
In other words, extremewrestlingtorrents.net.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Number two, you can either pay for it via Fight, or you can wait a couple of days if it ever comes on ITV Hub, which is like our streaming service.
That's pretty much been hit and miss at this point. Most people, if they had the choice, aren't using that because it comes up at random times, and sometimes there's bits missing, and like it's not the best way to watch it.
I think I think they're just going to put it on that service because I can't see them giving them another time slot. I don't see that happening.
Do you see AEW Dark remaining on YouTube as well?
No, if it ends up on this HBO Max, because HBO I believe you've got to pay for. So what? I mean, I can't, unless it'll be region blocked. I don't know. I can't see it being on YouTube.
Well, my thing then is, if they're going to be on TV with AEW Dark, then they need to increase the production values of that show, because at the minute it's just Dasha and Tony Schiavone in a bit of an awkward green screen room, and it's not the greatest. And when we've got Dynamite that still has the odd production issue going on, I'm wondering whether are they about to spread themselves too thin, and is this going to sort of pull down both shows? I feel like if it has to be on TV, they have to up everything.
Yeah.
Do they have the manpower to do that? I'm not sure.
I guess they do. I mean, if they've got a production company, because putting it this way, they've had moments where they've had a pay-per-view and a TV show in the same week, so it's not impossible for them to do two shows, and the pay-per-views are 87 hours long, so I presume that they can do this. The only other question I have is this going to be live? Or is it going to be taped like AEW Dark is? Because
I can't see it being live, because that would just add another bunch of needless costs. I think they'll just tape it before or after, like they are now.
Okay.
I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. Jason, aka Woofy in the chat, actually says a point. Streaming was meant to be the death of cable, and all these separate streaming services look like a fuck ton of cable to me. Well, welcome to the real world now.
It was like, cut the cord, you'll save money, but now you have to buy Netflix and Amazon Prime, and if you like sports or the other sports streaming, so it ends up being the same or even more expensive.
Like, do you know how much it costs to watch football in this country? Well, soccer. Sorry, Americans. It costs over £40 or something to stream a football match. Stupid. And that's the thing. You might as well just have Sky or I don't know, whatever the equivalent is in the US. There's no point getting streaming service. Just get cable. Just bring the cable back. Also, Jason says, wow, Andy hitting me with welcome to the real world. I'm sorry, I just, it's cable.
I am a little bit disappointed, though, with this new show. I thought maybe an hour of the kind of content we get on the sort of road to whatever event stuff, where they have kind of the backstage dramatic stuff going on. I'd have liked just an hour of that every week. Recap what's happened, put the really cool music behind it, have a few extra backstage interviews, more of like a hype show for the next Dynamite or the next big pay-per-view.
Or alternatively, Just put that on the bloody show.
That's another thing. That's always been my criticisms with WWE and all their like backstage 24 and all the other weird things where they have these profiles of wrestlers. Why don't you just cut some of that into the program, and that would make it like the 3 hours, it would make at least an hour of 25 million times more entertaining. But nope, everything has to be on every different platform. We need content here. We need content in your teacup.
We need content in your fridge. Like, it's just stupid. So I mean, I'm looking forward to a second show. Stussy in the chat says thoughts on WWE on BT Sport. I haven't seen it yet, so oops.
To me, it's the same kind of thing as Sky Sports, and that just means paying money that I'm not going to pay.
Like, I mean, I haven't seen anything. I mean, the fact that we can watch NXT live is quite nice, because I don't think there was actually that even as an option in this country before, because I don't even think Sky were playing it live. And then it's still on the network like a day later. I've never really understood. I mean, maybe because I'm getting old now, watching this stuff live, if it's not Mania, I'm just like, I can't be arsed, I'll just watch it tomorrow.
What annoys me, though, is WWE go for the biggest financial amount of money, but it doesn't get their product in front of the biggest amount of eyes. And, like, surely in the long run, if you have no one watching because it's behind all these expensive paid services, you might actually just reduce your audience.
There's an actual reasoning for this. So, I'm just reading about Formula One. So, you know the broom cars?
The broom brooms.
The broom brooms. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
So apparently, like they're now only on a satellite television station in this country called Sky, Keelan. On Sky Sports.
That. Yes, Sky Sports. Okay.
Yes. So it's essentially the equivalent of Fox Sports, because I think it's owned by the same guy. And essentially, by switching, the F1 television audience has crashed. Pardon the pun, by 8.6 million viewers.
What?
So they made a load of money from moving, but they have lost 8.6 million television viewers.
Are you saying WWE viewers were also watching the Vroom Vrooms?
No. What I'm saying is that they took the money, but less people are watching. So that can't be good, right? Because when this deal ends and the money goes and not that many people are watching it, that can't be a good thing. And it's confirming your argument. Like, you can have all the money in the world short term, like same with WWE and their Saudi deal, being on Fox and all this kind of thing. But then if the long term is you fall out with the Saudis, you lose the money. If your ratings
and potentially your head, but yeah, carry on.
If the Jesus, I just got that. If the ratings are bad on Fox, which they have been, like, it doesn't matter. You've got no audience in like 4 and 5 years time. So what are you going to do to pitch this to other people? Well, we've lost so many people. It doesn't. It's just what. Like, short term, it's great, brilliant. You got loads of money.
But that's WWE all over. They keep going for the short term money boost to keep the investors happy, and the ship seems to still be rolling ahead or fucking floating ahead, whatever ships do. But
like, they're not the Titanic.
But like,
You're not
at some point, people just don't want to watch, and that money is not going to be there in the long term.
Yeah, and that's my problem with it. It's just a stupid deal. I don't know.
Unless, of course, they suddenly somehow get Shane McMahon's weird Chinese connections to actually finally pay off, and they end up with 65 billion people in China paying for something.
Possibly. I mean, like Jason, aka Woofy in the chat, saying that BT are making a big deal of getting WWE. Yeah, it is a big deal in this country because, like, since the dawning of time, WWE has been on Sky, and then suddenly it's just like now we're on BT. The same
Well,
thing
they've got to hype it because they've just got it. Like,
yeah, and the thing is, it's the same network as UFC, which Conor McGregor is fighting on Saturday.
I just want to see what the numbers are and how they compared to Sky and how they compare to like the ratings elsewhere, because they've never really been good on Sky in recent years.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I don't know how it will translate as well, because you have to have a separate service for BT. So if you don't have BT, you can't watch this anymore. So I don't know. Maybe people who have Sky Sports, like if they watch football, are probably quite likely to have things like BT. But are they WWE fans? Probably not. So I don't really know.
I mean, the only crossover I've seen with football fans is weird memes on betting sites where they're like, "Oh, the Undertaker stunned someone," or whatever the fuck, and it's like, haha, it's not 1998, but all you people think it is.
Well, speaking of things, so guess what's happened, Keelan Boulder Man?
What has happened, Andrew Quanderman?
AEW's friend, Marty Scurll. Everyone thought he was leaving. Haha, joke's on you. He's head booker. Ring of Honor Wrestling. Marty Scurll is no longer a free agent after signing a new contract to stick him with Ring of Honor in a sensational deal.
Stick him ring? What?
Oh, he's stuck with a deal. To see him become the promotion's head booker. PW Insider broke the news saying that Scurll will replace Hunter Delirious Johnson as the man with the pencil.
I read that they're now partners, but
okay, well, regardless, he's either co-head booker or head booker. He's basically okay, whatever. He's also allowed to take outside bookings. And Dave
so that doesn't necessarily rule out AEW, but they can't really give him a prominent role if he's booking the competition, kind of.
And it's the largest Ring of Honor contract in history. Ryan Satin confirms your thing, saying that he's sharing the creative direction because Delirious will help him execute his plans, because obviously he's never been a booker before. But as mentioned, Marty also will be helping to strengthen Ring of Honor's relationships with the National Wrestling Alliance, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he may be looking to start a possible relationship with that is Ring of Honor, you idiot. Essentially starting a relationship with AEW Wrestling.
I wonder how that would play out, because I would assume AEW wants to sort of market themselves as bigger than Ring of Honor. So how would that play out? I wonder. Is it just talent exchanging, or
who knows? I mean, Sam says something in the chat, and I kind of completely agree with him. Nothing can save Ring of Honor, and nothing can save Ring of Honor. I mean, I think I mentioned this in the Decade show. This company just got worse over the last decade, to the point where it kind of got a bit better when, ironically, you had the Young Bucks and Cody and Marty and all of these people.
Yeah, and then they took their money and did a show, and then off the back of that, made their own company and said, fuck you.
Yeah, and ever since then, it's kind of it's completely fell off a cliff.
But if they brought Enzo and Cass in properly, they could have had a hot feud, and everyone would have been talking about it. But no, people are all sensitive bitches They don't like Enzo for no apparent reason. So fuck that.
But Stussy actually says it's crazy how everything went downhill after the big Madison Square Garden show. Yep, it all went wrong after that. Like, the issue that I have is that the company is drawing the least amount of people in its entire history, to the point where I think they're doing a free show. Like, they're just doing a free show and just streaming it for free. I guess that might work, because people are like, alright, I'll see what they're doing. Okay, I'm never watching it again. But, like, even when you had that weird, creepy dude, what was his name, Sam? Keelan, whatever your name is?
Weird, creepy dude?
Yeah.
That could be a number of people.
Okay, the guy who founded Ring of Honor, can't remember his name.
Oh, Rob Feinstein.
Yeah, even when you had that guy in charge, they were still drawing more people.
Even when he became a massive nonce, it didn't really kill the company.
I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. And I don't know how he can save it, to be honest. It's sort of... I'm looking at Ring of Honor DVDs that I've got from like 2009, 10, and before that. Like, Ring of Honor, when it was a thing, was unique. Because
it was the nerds promotion. It was TNA are trying to be WWE. Then there's Ring of Honor actually doing pretty good in-ring work.
Yeah. So, and then now that style of wrestling has just become wrestling. So it hasn't got an identity anymore. It's just pointless. Like, unless they do something completely different, and I don't know what the hell that is. But,
well, we'll have to see what Marty Scurll actually does. I mean, they must see some creativity in him to give him the spot, unless they're completely desperate to keep him. And this was just like, oh, well, you can be Booker too. There you go.
I've got a bad feeling it could be that. It's like, please don't go to AEW. We'll give you look, a wheelbarrow full of money. Look, a truck full of money. Go nuts.
And the sad thing is, the last time I actually saw Marty Scurll in anything in it, like for an extended period of time, obviously I've seen bits of what he's done in Japan and whatnot, and I get that he's now got a pretty cool character. But the last time I knew who he was Party Marty, and he was on TNA British Boot Camp. So I hope he's come along since then.
He definitely has. I mean, I'm a bit worried, because I think, Void Storm says that, Marty deserves to move on to a bigger promotion. And I actually agree. I think this is a bad move. I don't.
Well, let's not forget, he probably could go to NXT if he wanted to. He probably could go to AEW if he wanted to. So there's a reason why he stayed with Ring of Honor. Maybe it was money. Maybe he's really creative and he wants to help produce a better show. Who knows?
I get that, but in life, I mean, I just associate yourself with this. I don't know, unless he turns it all around. But I don't know. Sam says that he's been offered NXT before, apparently. So,
does he have any history in booking shows or being on creative teams or anything of that nature? I mean, I'm sure he gets back there with his pals and they're creative together, and he's obviously one of the more creative talent out there. But does he have a history of doing this formally?
Not to my knowledge. I don't think so. Which I don't know. I don't think he has. I could be wrong, but I will look very quickly.
Well, I'm willing to give it a chance, because like, what else can Ring of Honor do at this point? I mean, this could be the jolt in the arm. This could be like, obviously. Oh, everyone hates Vince Russo and everything, but just as an analogy, this could be Vince Russo getting a shot in WWE pre-Attitude Era. This could be something big. We don't know.
I mean, he's apparently presented on Wrestle Talk, which was a TV show here in the UK.
No, that doesn't count.
No,
That was
okay,
that was
yeah.
wank. I mean, they had a couple of good interviews, but no. Just
Did I ever tell you? I don't know. Am I going to give this away on the air live? I don't know.
well, you've told me. I get if that's what you're about to get at.
What, the time I met Alex Shane?
The time Alex Shane tried to con you like a carny wrestling guy.
Well, okay, I don't know if that's entirely accurate, but like, essentially, what happened was this was in 2014, so I just like got out of uni, and I was just like applying for jobs. I was like, screw it, and I thought, you know what, I'll give Wrestle Talk an email and see if they want, because like I do the Suplah, right? So I'm thinking, oh, they might. I mean, at the time we were getting quite a few hits. I think we're on like American radio at the time or something.
Yeah, we were on some weird American radio affiliate. Literally, you could get it in your car driving down the road.
And I have nothing bad to say about the guy, because he gave me an opportunity to actually meet him. So that's more than probably what a lot of people would give. So essentially what happens, I interpret this as an interview because I'm an idiot.
But it doesn't hurt to dress up smart and give a good impression.
No, but I was in like a suit. And I've arrived at the Wrestle Talk studio, right?
Okay, what was this studio like?
The studio was in like I don't want to call it an industrial estate, but I don't know any other like.
So you could have been entering a weird porn set that you wouldn't have been able to escape from, but carry on.
Oh, okay, whatever. So this chap opens the door, and it's like the assistant producer. I can't remember his name now. And he goes, "Yeah, Alex will be here in a minute. Nice to meet you." I go, "Yeah, lovely to meet you." Yada yada yada. And then Alex Shane walks in a vest top. I can't remember what like trousers he was wearing.
Living the gimmick, brother.
But he had like a protein shake in one hand, and I'm a fucking idiot. Why the fuck?
Not necessarily.
Why did I turn up to this in a suit? And he shakes my hand, right? Now, Alex is...
Well, okay, you flip that around. If you turned up at that point of time in your life in a tank top with a protein shake, I think you'd have been in an even worse position.
So, yeah. Okay, fair point. Okay, granted, yeah. The best part about this was Alex is a very tall, very well-built gentleman. And, I mean, I was working out at the time, so I was a bit, you know, all right. And... Toned. And, literally, like, essentially what happened was he shook my hand, but Alex is a very strong man. So when he shook my hand, he crushed it. Because his hand was like...
Oh, you broke the old kayfabe thing.
What was that?
You're supposed to, if you're both in on it, you need to do a really light handshake. So straight away he was trying to strong arm you.
What are you talking about?
The whole kayfabe thing between wrestlers on the inside give each other really limp handshakes to say, look, we're insiders. Anyone on the outside, they try and crush their hand.
Oh, he destroyed my hand. Like, his hand engulfed my hand. Mainly because my hand is very tiny. I literally was in this meeting, or whatever the hell this thing was. And I'm, like, cradling my hand the whole time. I'm just like, ow. Ow. I'm like, ow. And then he was like, well, maybe you could be a backstage interviewer or something, or, I don't know. It was weird because there was no guarantee from the offset. I was just going just to be like, hello, I exist. Nothing came of it, which is a shame, but...
You should have just gone back for at least like one show and just to see what's going on, like maybe from a backstage perspective, if they would have let you.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, I remember it being really... There's no guarantee of anything, so I don't know what I was expecting, but I remember leaving thinking, what? I didn't really, like... Have I just made myself look like a twat in a suit, and he's just crushed my hand? He's gone, fuck this idiot.
Eh,
Maybe that's just my insecurities coming out. Oh god, the real me.
well, I met him once too. Like me and Liam went to one of the very first TNA shows in the UK, and we booked like special meet and greet tickets, but like the whole way of doing that was through his personal like PayPal account, and it was all a bit sketchy. And then when we got there was no like clear route as how you go about getting your tickets, and it took us a little while to find people. And then we had to like go meet him backstage, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll sort it all out for you guys, don't worry." And I was like, is he scammed us? Eventually he did sort it out, and
Well, there you go.
I shook Rhino's fist and all that
Well,
bollocks.
that was a moment in time.
But he's like the epitome of the British carny. Like anything that goes on in this country regarding wrestling, somehow he attaches himself to it. Like whether it's World of Sport or whatever, like he's just there all the time. He's the go-to guy. When TNA came over, for some reason he promoted the shows on TNA's behalf. Like he just clings on to everything. It's very weird because like he was pretty mediocre in the ring. He had that FWA promotion for a while, which wasn't bad.
Good. Yeah, I thought it was good.
It was pretty good. Like they brought over some of the legends, people like Paul Burchill was like on fire at the time until WWE turned him into a fucking pirate.
Paul Burchill actually wrestled in Spalding like 2 weeks before he went to WWE. That'd be amazing. I went to my mate, oh my god, he's just been signed. And then like my mate was like, what are you talking about? Because we were teenagers and I'm just this geek. Like, oh my god, he's a WWE person. He does like a backflip rock bottom. And then my mate was like, no, he can't. That's stupid. And it's like, oh god, that's the best move I've ever seen. Like, but I don't have any bad things to say. I mean, he you know, the Alex Shane fella, you know, he did what he did and gave me an opportunity and whatever. So
maybe he was just waiting for you to be more persistent. You get that weird carny thing where it's like, we'll weed out all you fuckers that aren't serious by being dickheads to you for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden you're in the business.
Well, he did say there was somebody who got like a job there because he wouldn't just leave him alone. So just like, fine, whatever, God's sake. But I don't know who it was, and I have no idea. But whatever. So yeah, I mean, everyone's now complaining that Pirate Paul Burchill was good, and you should take that back. Are you not taking that back, or are you taking?
Unless he wears his Chris Benoit tights and murders people, then okay, that went a bit dark. But
wow, that was,
unless he's just this psycho monster that does backflips off the top rope, then I don't really want to know.
There's backstage news. Breaking news. Breaking news, Keelan Boulderman.
Ooh.
Guess what?
What's that?
There's possibly a change to the WWE UK Championship and renaming it to the WWE NXT UK title.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so they're potentially changing the UK Championship to the NXT UK title.
Wasn't that always what it was called?
No, it was just the United Kingdom Championship.
Oh. Well, that's not a major change.
God's sake, Keelan, be more like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. I'm just checking the news really, really quickly, just in case we missed anything. Keelan, what is this about Teddy Hart you were telling me about? Oh, wait, 1 minute before you do that. Taz! It's Taz! He's signed a multi-year deal with AEW.
Hopefully to do some kind of commentator shit or manager rather than dropping people on their heads.
Yes, he is going to be a commentator by the sounds of things for AEW. And he signed a multiple-year agreement. And apparently the Taz show, which you shouldn't listen to and listen to us instead, will be on hold for quite some time.
So, do you think he'll take over AEW Dark?
Maybe, because he and JR did quite good on the New Year's episode of AEW. I thought they were really good.
I mean, all the stuff Taz has done so far with AEW has been pretty damn good. So, I wouldn't say no to Taz again.
It's Taz.
Yes, Taz. That's who it is.
So, speaking of things, Chris Benoit's son.
Oh, good lord.
What's his actual name? Because I was about to call him.
Well, he's called David Benoit.
Okay, right. So,
but he actually legitimately wants to wrestle as Chris Benoit Jr. Like, sorry, that's probably not gonna happen.
No. And the other thing I know, did you It was weird. Like Liger's retirement was really good, but there was like, I don't know, like they mentioned they had Benoit on like the big screen of like Liger's retirement. And I'm like, what are you doing?
What, like in a highlight package?
No, not just in the highlight package. Like on the I don't know, the New Japan Trons or whatever the hell they're called. Like they literally had like a picture of Liger in the middle, and then all the people he's faced, and then like Benoit's there, and I'm like, what are you doing? Don't put him there.
Maybe Japan's a slightly different culture.
I don't know. But speaking of people that do things, what is this about Teddy Hart before we go?
If none of you have seen any of the recent Teddy Hart controversy and you'd like to get entertainment out of utterly insane stuff, then I implore you to firstly go over to Teddy Hart's weird YouTube channel. Basically, he's now in a relationship with this young indie wrestler called Maria Manic or Maria Maniac or something, that he took off some other indie guy, and now they do this weird YouTube show where I'm not sure whether they're in character or they're just completely off their faces, because they both sound like they're just completely on crack all the time. You literally see Teddy Hart beating the shit out of her, trying to teach her to box, but really it's literally Teddy Hart just punching her in the face, and it's like really awkward. And they have all these weird drug-filled rants and stuff, and it's just very, very, very strange. But off the back of this, there was a story that floated around a few months.
What the fuck?
There was a story that floated around a few months back that Teddy Hart's ex-girlfriend, someone called Samantha Fiddler, went missing. I don't know exactly when she went missing, but there's a missing persons investigation ongoing. And basically, Teddy Hart said he was going to get her trained. Took her down to, I believe, it was either Florida or California, at this dojo called Team Vision Dojo, which just happens to be run by a guy called Chasen Rance, who is a convicted sex offender on a young girl. And in that time period, while she was over there, she went missing, presumed dead. And lots of people have sort of pointed their finger at Teddy Hart because he's just, in general, a bit of a scumbag. They've pointed their fingers at this weird dojo, which seems to attract a lot of strange people. I think one of the person that trained there was jailed for murdering his stepmom. This Chasen Rance guy obviously is a convicted sex offender. A lot of weird shit going on. But if you get the chance, you've got to go online and listen to this interview with a show called Nightwave Radio, because that guy just goes balls out on Teddy Hart, asking him like where he was on these certain dates. Teddy Hart like slips up and sort of talks about this woman, and she's not officially dead. They've not found anybody. She's a missing person. But then Teddy was talking about her in the past tense, which is like classic. It's like if you're in a police interview and you start talking about someone in the past tense, that's a red flag that you think she's dead, and like, don't do that, mate. And then halfway through, he said, "Oh, what happened to her was brutal," and it's like,
How do you know
Well,
that?
what do you mean? Like, what happened to her? What's going on here? And like the interview is just mental. He's completely off his face. Either he suffers from some kind of like ADHD or bipolar or something, or he's literally every day taking crack or something. But it's the most. If you're into true crime and just crazy, weird, sleazy shit, then definitely research this story because it will blow your mind. It's just fucking weird.
Well, that's bizarre. I don't know really how to end that on that note. Okay, well, Sam wants to be added in, so let's add Sam right at the end. Let's add Sam.
Samuel, where are
He
you?
probably wants to talk about Brawl, which is
Fuck Goldberg.
this thing is rigged. Like, this whole thing is absolutely rigged.
It's just Carmine going, I will be God. Oh yeah, Teddy Hart likes cats. He likes drugging his cats so they don't fall off the top rope.
Is he the guy?
Yeah, I saw
in...
the interview with the best friends, and he was literally like smoking a joint and blowing it in the fucking cat's face, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
There's also a really weird part of that where he has a video camera, right? And he shows them it, and they all freak out a little bit.
He's
Right,
not...
and then he talks about how he was like, I don't know what the actual like specifics of the story were, but it's like he got into prison for rape or something. And he just goes fucking balls in on that story, and everyone is freaking out because holy shit, you don't just talk about that like it's a normal thing.
There was another side to that. Basically, also with this weird pedo guy that owns this Team Vision dojo, they do these weird custom videos. This is quite popular right now with indie wrestlers.
But when you say custom videos, that could be taken in a couple of different ways.
Well, for him, we're talking about weird homoerotic, like
yeah, that's what I was thinking you were
submissions and all my packages in your face, whoops, kind of stuff.
The weird softcore things that Tyler Black once did.
That's the one aspect of it. He went by the name Teddy Trouble. Oh, how sexual. But there's another side to it. They were also doing something called chloroform porn, which is where you use chloroform to knock out the poor woman and proceed to whatever. I don't know whether these people are consensual because I've never seen or really heard about this kind of shit. But
that's good that you haven't. Like, let's take a moment to praise you
in some of these crazy videos that Teddy Hart does on his channel, he always lets slip all these weird things. And he, like, I think in one of them, he's like, "Oh, you don't want me to chloroform her, do you?" And it's like, what?
No, I'm into that, sir.
That's
so yeah.
Weird. Well, well, before we go, we just need to talk about something called Brawl, which is complete bullshit, and it's rigged.
Is it? Is it really? Why do you say that?
Because it's rigged.
Do you say that because you haven't won a match in what feels like forever?
It's rigged.
Sam, I think the last time you actually won a match was when you fought Captain Suplah. You know, the shittest guy we have.
It's bloody rigged.
Why did I lose to Goldberg?
Because it's Goldberg.
Goldberg drops people on their heads. He's like an old man. Why is he so highly rated? I should have destroyed him.
I mean, you're technically an old man too, so I don't really know what you're getting at here.
Sucks.
What's my age in the game?
Well, your age is the same as in real life, so, you know.
I'm not old. I'm 29. Literally, when I turn 30, I'm going to have the most depressive midlife crisis ever. So don't add to that fire.
No, it's just you're the Suplah's grandpa who takes drugs. That's your character, remember?
Oh, great. That's the best image I want out publicly.
Well, it's better than Andy. The guy with another streak. A losing streak.
I prefer the losing streak.
He had a second guess then. Streak? Oh my god.
Oh, no. What happened? It's just absolutely, it's just horseshit. That's what this
I mean,
is.
it's not.
No,
it's
it
not
is,
horseshit.
Sam. No, it is.
Okay.
He's
so
clearly
you think
controlling the game, and I'm losing each time. No,
Yeah.
it really is. It's your fault,
Okay.
or it's his fault. Like, it's
His
rigged.
fault.
It's bloody rigged. I quit Brawl. There's no point doing it
Okay,
anymore.
Liam. No, you don't quit. Well, no, we're going to give you one more match.
No more. Alright, fine. What is this one more match then, Sam?
So I don't know if you remember the End of Decade Awards. It was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
It was a week ago. Or 2 weeks
It was
ago.
a week ago.
Was it?
Well, there you go.
When was it?
You know,
I don't know. What day of the week
It
was
was. Oh fuck it! It was recent. It was recent, and I think throughout the entire show, you were hyping up this mystery man who we've never heard of before, who was somehow worthy of being entered into the Wrestler of the Decade discussion.
Who was I talking
So I think it's only fair that we put you in a match against him.
Who was that? I can't remember.
You don't remember the legend of the man they call Jay Kager?
No. Not...
Jake Hager.
No, Jay Kager. We all know who Jake Hager is, of course. He used to be Jack Swagger in the WWE, and he's now Jake Hager in the...
Jake Hager.
Yeah, this is Jay Kager. This is a different person whom Andy was very, very, insistent on letting us know about.
No, because I was saying Jake Hager.
You just said it again,
No,
Jake
I
Hager.
No, I didn't, you stupid idiot. Jake Hager.
Well, that's a different person. I don't know who you're talking about.
That's what I said, Jake.
No. You were saying Jay. You were saying Jake.
He's not in the game anyway, so.
Oh, he is.
Not Jake Hager.
Oh, Jake Hager isn't. No. But Jake Hager is definitely in the game. He'll be your opponent.
It's Jake Hager. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, so you want to face Jake Hager?
Yes.
Well, sorry, you have to face Jake Hager because Jake Hager unfortunately carries a very hefty price tag. Jake Hager will do it for free, thankfully.
I don't even know.
Can I pick my next opponent?
Yeah, if you want.
I would like to redeem my loss to Goldberg by defeating The Undertaker.
I mean, the guy who
I'll
went
fight
undefeated
anyone,
for like
man.
20
Anytime.
years.
Bring all these legends.
Can I have Conor McGregor as my manager?
No.
Oh.
My new
Who are
gimmick.
you to be making demands, Andy? You can't even win a match. You want a different manager now?
I don't know who Jake Kager is.
Jake Kager? That's a different name.
No, Jake Hager.
Jake Hager, exactly.
My new gimmick is going to be the Legend Extender.
I'm on board with that. All right, you want Taker? Fine, you've got Taker.
Damn right.
Damn right. There you go. Andy, you've got Jake Hager. Good luck. I hear he's a rising star for several reasons, so
fine.
give him one for me.
What?
Give him one for me, mate. And then I'll do something at the next event. I don't know what yet. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fight Tony.
Who is the lowest ranked person in the whole of Brawl? Is it apart from me, by the sounds of it?
Oh, stop. You're ranked the same as me. You're ranked the same as Andy. You're ranked the same as Karma.
No, I must be ranked like 10.
No, you're ranked 90.
No, that's not true.
So who's ranked the lowest?
Probably one of the jobbers. I feel like Barry is pretty low.
Okay, if I lose to The Undertaker, then the next time I want Barry.
You want to fight Barry of the ILP.
Why can't I fight Barry?
Do you want to fight Barry?
Because you say the word Barry too many times in one day to deserve to have anything Barry related.
Fine.
Exactly.
Fine, I'll face Jake Hager.
The rising enigma, mysterious but popular at the same time, the almighty Jake Hager will be making his debut at Big Sandwich in a one-on-one match against Andrew Kwan.
Can we call it Big Bang Sandwich?
No.
Why?
You know what? If you win a match, Andy, if you win a match, you can name one of the future events.
God. I just sneezed.
What the fuck was that?
That was
not a sneeze.
That was a sneeze.
Brilliant.
So that's been the Suplah. Big sneezing Suplah.
For AEW and watch next week's Dynamite on Chris Jericho's ship because you know someone's getting thrown overboard. Do it.
Is that show live?
I don't think it's live, but it's like a continuation on Bash of the Beach, which is a really good episode if you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet. Does it have Jake Hager?
It has Jake Hager in the background.
I see, and he did then, didn't you?
See, the man is making so many effects already, and he's not even showing up yet.
Oh, for God's sake. So, we're on social media. Type in the Suplah, you will find us. We are on Facebook. And Twitter, we have a shop. Go to redbubble.com/people/the Suplah. I think
buy the Gentleman Punisher t-shirt because it's like the best one on there.
It is the best one on there.
I think it's still open, so go nuts.
It is still open.
Hurrah! We are trying to choose a day where we're doing this every week, so
You
please.
say this every week, man.
It's the new gimmick, and that's that then. We do have Suplah Gaming, which does it get updated, Sam?
No.
Doesn't matter. You can go back and watch all the episodes. That's the joy of on demand. That's how it works. Go back to the beginning. What else is there, Samuel?
Suplah Brawl, Sacrifice Free, Bigger, Badder, Broker, the newest Brawl event. It premiered Monday. You can catch a replay on demand anytime you want. Who do we fight? You'll have to find out. How broken's the game? You'll have to find out. Well, I'm the only one who cares, apparently. Go and have a
Watch
look.
me punch Goldberg in the dick and immediately regret.
It was definitely the highlight of the night for me.
Woo! So, this has been the Suplah. We've learnt today many things, and we will see you next time, whenever that is. Say goodbye, Sam.
Goodbye, Sam.
Say goodbye, Keelan.
Goodbye, everyone. And please go to WrestlePundit.com and watch the Chris Benoit Files documentary, because since David Benoit's in the news recently, then you can get more Benoit shit content.
You mean shit content, or...
No, the content is good.
The content is good.
The content is good. Just like this. Goodbye!